From Psalm 90. Teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. We are in the time of counting. We are counting the 49 days between Passover, our joyous celebration of freedom from slavery, and Shavuot, commemorating the responsibility of receiving the Torah at Mount Sinai. We are biblically commanded to number these days. It is a mitzvah to count the Omer. During these 7 weeks of the Omer, Jews focus on ethical study. At Emanu-El, we read Pirkei Avot, the wisdom of the Jewish sages, in 6 chapters. Rabbi Ehrlich read chapter 6 this morning, just after the Haftarah reading. Written almost 2,000 years ago, the rabbinic sages' ethical statements are a source of inspiration and guidance for our lives. And we certainly need help. Our country, our world is struggling, suffering loss and pain and anger. Let us look back at some of these Pirkei Avot texts and glean what wisdom we can from the ancient teachers of our people. Earlier in this morning's service, the choir sang Amar Rabbi Yehuda from Pirkei Avot chapter 4. Rabbi Yehuda said, "Do not look at the container, but rather at what is inside." If we can look past our superficial physical differences like skin color or what we wear or where we live, if we can connect to others soul to soul, we can have meaningful relationships with those who come from different cultures or hold different beliefs from our own. The other becomes knowable and less unacceptable, even inhuman. Making music together, or planting a community garden, or playing sports, or performing a theater production are all ways to bring people together and get past our differences. We need this togetherness to help stop the vicious hatred of the white supremacy mindset that is poisoning our society. At the beginning of the Torah service, the choir sang Al Shlosha Devarim from Pirkei Avot chapter 1. On 3 things does the world stand: on truth, on justice, and on peace. We are all searching for truth and justice. How do we bring them into our lives and into our civilization? We seem to have lost track of the definitions of these vital concepts. So many lies, so many of us with injustice burning within. And most especially, how do we find peace, the completeness for which we all yearn? Dialogue, the unfettered exchange of ideas together, can help. As you can see, Pirkei Avot, the ethics of the ancestors, words are relevant and instructive, as important for us to study today as they were in rabbinic times. The sages' teachings are threefold, discoursing on 1, our minds, the importance of learning, especially Torah. 2, our everyday lives, how to prioritize our deeds and the relationships between us. And 3, our hearts and emotions, delving into our inner beings and attitudes. The rabbi's short pithy moral statements don't attempt to persuade or argue. They are just stated as fact, as truth. Sometimes, like Ben Zoma's words in chapter 4, there are serious questions asked and answered. Who is strong? A person who controls the urge to do evil, who shows self-control. And some say, the strong person is the one who turns an enemy into a friend. We all want to be wise, strong, rich, and respected. But we have to work and study and fix ourselves first. Most of us won't solve the larger issues of the world, but every one of us can strive to make ourselves and our world better. Chapter 2 states that you are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to desist from it. Turning an enemy into a friend is an amazing skill. If we can be strong enough to look into another's soul and do this, then we can be courageous enough to work for peace. Be of the disciples of Aaron, loving peace and pursuing peace, loving humankind and drawing them close to the Torah. These are the words of Rabbi Hillel from chapter 1, set to music by Simon Sargon. Pirkei Avot focuses on society and advancing justice in the world, as we have seen. But we first begin with transforming our own characters and personal behavior. More questions by the great sage Hillel from chapter 1. If I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I am only for myself, what am I? If not now, then when? This is a striking call for us all to do tikkun olam, repairing the world, and starting now. Prayer is not enough. Rabbi Mark Asher Goodman wrote recently on Twitter, "In Judaism, if you say a prayer over something, then fail to do the requisite action that follows, like blessing bread and not eating it, it's a bracha levatala, a wasted blessing." Prayer can provide comfort or healing or strength or clarity. Allow your prayers to be more than empty words. Let them change you, move you to act. And Amanda Gorman, the first National American Youth Poet Laureate, wrote a series of poetic tweets this week after Tuesday's mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas, that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead. She said, "It takes a monster to kill children, but to watch monsters kill children again and again and do nothing isn't just insanity, it's inhumanity. What might we be if only we tried? What might we become if only we'd listen?" And Hillel said in Pirkei Avot, chapter 2, "Bamakom she'en anashim, hishtadel lihiyot ish." In a place where none behave like human beings, strive to behave like a human being. Stephen Richards' haunting musical setting of this text enhances its call for ethical behavior and quiet courage. Hillel insisted that we behave with integrity, with humanity, with inner strength. We all face fearful moral dilemmas. It is our human response that can change our lives and inspire others to change theirs. We can change the world. Take action. Donate to Every Town for Gun Safety, or the Coalition to Stop Gun Violence, or Moms Demand Action, or the Brady Center. Vote out those who refuse to take no action except for offering thoughts and prayers. Vote in people who will save our children from being gunned down in their schools. Join a march for justice and gun control. Treat all people with dignity and respect. Those who look different from you, or behave differently than you, or pray differently than you, or love differently than you. Bring those with mental health challenges or who feel isolated closer by creating more positive bonds of friendship, community, and affiliation. As Hillel said, strive to be a good human being, a mensch. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Be strong, and let us have the strength to follow the ethics of the sages together. Shabbat shalom.